Folks, the criminal justice system is functioning exactly the way it was intended, according to former federal prosecutor Paul Butler, where black males are always under watch and are treated unfairly by police, while politicians and judges are complicit. That is the premise of Butler's new book, Chokehold, Policing Black Men, which will surely add to the national debate on policing, criminal justice, and race relations. Paul joins us right now. So, Paul, why do you say this has always been the case? This is what it was designed for?
As a prosecutor, I learned that the system is set up to target and punish African-American men.
Why?
Well, when we see cops getting away with murdering unarmed black men, the system's working the way it's supposed to. Roland, I don't have to tell you, people are afraid of us. There's a lot of anxiety and a fear associated with black men. And so the system is set up to control us. We give cops these superpowers to arrest, to racially profile, and to use deadly force. It's all perfectly legal.
We saw this week, of course, Ray Densing in Cincinnati, of course, shot and killed Sam DuBose, unarmed, said his life was threatened. When if you actually watch that body cam video, when the car takes off, you can tell his life was not even remotely threatened by the whole situation. But two hung juries, he got off. Michael Slager got off, even though video shooting Walter Scott in the back. The Shelby in Tulsa got off. I mean, you see case after case after case.
Yeah, and the people who don't get off are African-American men who are disproportionately arrested and convicted for offenses. And I learned this the hard way. When I was a prosecutor, I got arrested and prosecuted for a crime that I didn't commit. So my favorite chapter in Chokehold is a chapter for brothers, how you can beat your case like I beat mine. I was innocent. That wasn't the most important reason. Most important thing I did was get Michelle Roberts, best defense attorney in town, to defend me. Had lots of skills that I learned as a prosecutor that I used in my own case. So I want everybody to have this information, because the system is set up against us.
But the problem here is that when you talk about that, folks don't have the resources, and what it also leads to are individuals who are forced to accept plea deals for crimes they did not commit.
So first of all, I get so many calls from folks who say, I have a public defender, oh my God. I talk in Chokehold about some cities where the best lawyer you can have is a public defender. Sometimes for certain kinds of cases, they're the people you need to go to.
Why?
Because they have the skills. You know, I used to work at this fancy law firm that actually Mike Tyson hired to defend himself in this rape charge. That wasn't a good fit for that firm.
Yeah, but first of all, the guy who defended, wasn't he a tax attorney?
Oh, he was a white collar. Again, if I was in trouble for tax evasion, he's the first guy I would hire, but I would not hire him for a rape case. So the fact is, in certain cities, I list those cities in Chokehold, you're best off with a public defender.
Jamira.
So I'm curious, under Obama, there was a huge wave of bipartisan support to move the criminal justice system towards reform. What do you think can happen under a Jeff Sessions or under a Trump?
Absolutely nothing. Jeff Sessions wants to bring back the failed war on drugs. You talked earlier about he as endorsing this draconian policy where the federal government takes all of your property if they think you committed a crime, and they never have to prove that you're guilty of it. So he loves stop and frisk like the president does. We know that these policies don't work. They don't keep us safe. All they do is target African-American men.
Ralph?
I think one of the biggest problems we have in this country right now are the for-profit prison systems, because you have these prisons that are set up with guaranteed occupancy rates.
Public traded companies.
So if the state or the county or the city or whatever doesn't arrest enough people to maintain a 95% occupancy rate, that state, county, city has to then pay out of their own pockets that prison. And so I think if we were able to get away with this for-profit prison system, that would reduce the incentive to incarcerate people.
Absolutely right. So when we ask, well, why aren't the police doing better? Why are prosecutors still locking up so many people? It's because folks are making money from that. Mainly white folks, often men who live in these rural communities who get great jobs as prison guards, correctional officers, supervising African-American people.
But also, as Roland said, some of us are complicit because we own stock in those companies. You know, there are a lot of black people who own stock in these prison companies.
There's a whole political economy. You know, one of the questions folks ask is, well, why do poor white people vote for Trump? That seems against their economic interests. Well, guess what? They get a lot of money out of this system too, in part because it's 1.5 million African-American young men who are out of the system. So white folks don't have to compete with them for jobs. It's a whole political economy.
Folks, the book is called Chokehold, Policing Black Men, a renegade prosecutor's radical thoughts on how to disrupt the system. Paul, we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Roland.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
He
Unfiltered.
wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.